Good evening, Steelers. If you're out there, a little bit early tonight, normal. I did say half past. It's just gone 25 past, but I was just finishing watching the first episode of Breaking Bad, second time through. So I just thought, let's go and jump online and see what's happening out here. Tonight, Matthew, as they say, is I've got a couple of things I want to do tonight. I've got these turned up today, Gaslands stuff. I can't remember what they're called, Gas GM, I think they're called, or something. These are really nice resin weapons and stuff, so they're going to get put on some cars. I'm not going to do this tonight, but I'm just showing you what I've got. These are spikes for wheels. They're really nice as well. Evening, Lazy Pirate, Steve, I think, isn't it? And interestingly as well, this thing here with the tank trikes, which is fantastic. So that's going to get onto a car at some point as well. I got those in the post today. A couple of the things that I've got kicking about. Evening, friends of General Haig. Good to have you on board. I'm just going to put those to one side for now. Like I say, that's going to be a future thing. This is something a mate of mine gave me. It's I think it's a Dungeons and Dragons model, but basically it's pretty much a Cthulhu creature, a cultist for Cthulhu. So he gave me that, and I'll paint that up at some point. Nice little model. And speaking of which, I also got some Arkham horror cards. This all came in the box today. Let's grab these. These are these things here. So, and it is a sand roll indeed. So I got 4 packs. These were headed up for me by Bob. This is 4 of the 6 packs that I need for the Innsmouth conspiracy. However, unfortunately, I didn't have the last one, which is the Devil Reef, which I will be getting at some point. Hang on a second. My wife has literally just texted me as I started. And so I got those. I also got as well some more Arkham horror stuff, and one of them was this thing, which is a card holder for the what's it called, the Mythos deck, if I remember correctly. But basically, it's I got this from Etsy. This is a nice little piece. I put this together earlier. It took about 5 minutes. I also got as well, on top of that, this larger double card holder for the Act and the Agenda deck. So first things first tonight is I'm going to actually put this together because this won't take very long. I have thought about painting it, but right now I'm just going to get it put together so I can use it in games at some point. I hope everybody enjoyed the last live stream with Travis. I certainly did. Oh yeah, then the next thing I'm going to do is these were the French that I was supposed to be painting while I was doing the live stream with Travis. That I've progressed them a little bit, but I've been a bit lazy. I kind of been putting them off really. But what I have said to myself is I can't buy any more of the 15mm Napoleonics until I've painted what I've got at the moment. So that's basically these ones here, and then there were 11 I think there. So once they're painted, and they will be painted, evening Nigel, good to have you on board. Once they are painted, then I'll be able to buy some more. And I was having a cheeky look at AB Miniatures figures just earlier on this afternoon. I was thinking maybe I might get some riflemen, British rifles, just to add a bit of variety of colour. Get those bottle green uniforms going on as well. What happened to the podcast, Nigel? Did it fall through for this evening? Was Sean pulled away into work or something? It's happened to me before with Sean. I've had a first time we did a podcast. He something came up and he had to cancel it on me. But then we came got back together and did it. Evening, Kevin. Good to have you on board. Good to see you here. We're all filtering in. I don't know if anybody saw the Sean busy with work. Yeah, he works shifts and stuff. As a policeman, I think his work has to come first. Really, there's not much you can do about it. But I'll be looking forward to hearing your episode when you get around to having recorded it. It's a damn fine podcast anyway. Oh, Sean's. Sean is a busy man. Crossing obstacles. How are you doing? Good to see you. How are you doing, Travis? Good to see you as well. He's working. Is that Bob? I don't know. Is it Bob? Lazy Games. I saw that you were doing a stream the other day. I only just saw. I didn't see the live version of it, but I saw the catch up. It came up on my thing, so that's good. Good to see that. I didn't get a chance to watch it all, but it looked good. What I could see. Also, I don't know if anybody's seen as well. There's a chap over on Twitter called Bushy Beard Tom. He's just started a new podcast as well, which is probably worth checking out. As I was listening to that earlier on today while I was doing a bit of work. It was just an introductory one, but it's worthwhile having a look. Follow him over on Twitter if you're a tweeter. He's on my I think he's on my follow list. So if you go and check my lists out and go and give him a follow and a listen to his new podcast, it sounded good. Well, we got the paints I've been waiting for have arrived, plus some scratch built stone walls. Excellent, good stuff. I've got a few stone walls kicking about, which I should do something with. But they're dry stone walls, which I don't know how much they appear in continental Europe. I mean, I suppose I could use them for sharp practice, couldn't I? Quite easily. It wouldn't be an issue, really. You're looking forward to Tom's podcast. Yeah. Like I say, it's a good one. It's only an introductory one, this one, but he kind of sets out what he wants to do and things, and it's good. As I say, give him it's always good to give a bit of support. I hope you're not working too hard out there, Travis. We had a bit of a confusing conversation over on Twitter, didn't we, about what days we could and couldn't do for podcasts. This Sunday I can't do, as I mentioned to Travis, because this Sunday, in other news, is I'm taking part in a Kriegspiel. First time I've ever done one. It's over on the Virtual Lard Discord channel. Crossing obstacles. Which Tom? First of all, I'll answer that. Tom is Bushy Beard Tom. Nigel, you'll find him. I follow him on Twitter, so if you have a look at the people I follow and have a look for Bushy Beard Tom, I think I only just started following him recently, and I think he tagged me in a post earlier on, so you might be able to find him through the fact that I'm tagged in a post. You did your first proper stream yesterday. Yeah, I saw it had been uploaded. It's hard to keep people entertained for an hour. Well, people are entertained just watching you do stuff, I think. I mean, I just sit here talking rubbish at the end of the day and just reacting to whatever people are saying in the comments. But just, I guess, talk about what it is you're doing, I guess. Or just talk about anything, sing. People are quite happy just to sit here and watch you do stuff without you talking, I think. That would be a novel approach. Would be an interesting way of doing it. Your big order for your birthday has not arrived today. I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin. When's your birthday? Happy birthday, anyway, for it. So let's have a look. So, as I said to everybody, at the moment I'm just putting together this double card holder for Arkham Horror. That's my thing. If you missed my intro earlier on, it's a nice. I do like these MDF things. What I might do at some point is actually paint this. I'm just telling you, Nigel, what I've got here. Lazy Pirate says, I'm only doing some small videos at the moment just to get you started. Yeah, that's the way to do it. But to be honest, I just jumped in when I started doing live streams. I just thought, let's just do it, see what happens. I wasn't even expecting anybody to be on the to watch it, to be honest. And then it ended up quite a few people tuning in because everybody gets alerts. So the more subscribers you get, the more people you get watching you. Just got to work it out. So I just got this from Etsy. I can't remember the name of the guy's seller, but I just looked for. I was just looking for Arkham Horror extra things, card holders and stuff like that, just to make the game a bit easier when you're playing it. Anything like that, I like that kind of thing. I like after sales when it comes to board games and stuff. I don't feel complete until the game itself is properly organised. My wife thinks I'm a bit weird, but that's evening, Joe. Good to have you here. Let's have a look. Yeah, what is everyone up to? Tell us in the comments. Can you join in or watch the Discord? You can watch it because we've already decided the roles. You can actually join as an observer, but you have to be a part of the virtual LARD. So you have to email Jeremy, and I can't remember his email address. If anybody's got it, and he'll add you to the server, and then you can ask Andy if he'll add you as a watcher. We're going to be playing it on Sunday afternoon. What we've already done is basically got together and just decided our roles and what our orders are going to be, and then we'll be actually playing it on Sunday afternoon. So who is in? Joe, evening to you, Joe. Friends General Hay, painted 17th century Polish lights cavalry, 28mm, nice. Paul, evening to you as well, good to see you. Nigel, I'm just finished some Empress miniatures, Insurgents and Taliban. You're getting big into those, aren't you, at the moment, Nigel? Terry, evening, good to have you here. So let me just get these things fitted in. This is what I like about these MDF kits and things, is they are really well thought out in most cases. I'm just going to tip this forward so you can actually see what I'm doing. Joe says, looking forward to painting, drinking and watching this painting chat. Excellent. Been back at the hotel for 2 days now, getting ready for reopening. Well, that's good, at least, if you are reopening. If you're able to get people in, we get a bit of cash in the register, isn't it? And I'll just say, yeah, you're nearly finished. How many have you been painting, Nigel? Quite a lot. And also, what a typical question from Wargamers is, what rules are you using? That's what everybody asks, isn't it? Now then, how does this go together? This might leave me a bit stumped. Let's have a look. It goes in like that. I see it. So it's like a model kit, almost, but a wooden one. There you go. That's your central part of it. Shade like another shading and highlights. Is that we're using the Agrax Earth shade? I'm assuming. So these tentacles go in here. I was thinking of probably painting these up once I've put them together. I don't know if you can see, but the engraving on these tentacles is lovely, really nice. It might not show up so well on the camera. Do that. A lot of people try to get it in focus using that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the tentacles are lovely. Rules haven't decided. Other sets of Lardy's Rules Creek Peel some years ago. We're never good playing with them. Good to see them in use. Yeah, I don't know if these are the Lardy rules. I'm assuming they are. Andrew, like, sorry I missed the last one. Don't worry, you can always watch it on catch up. And Nigel says you watered it down quite a lot, the Agrax. Yeah. Do what you want with it, really. I think I would probably water it down for 28mm, to be honest, or do very heavy highlights over the top of it. 15mm, it's not such a problem, I don't think. You got some fantasy stuff on the table tonight. Games Workshop chain rasps. I'm going for Kings of War to prepare. Plus, got some 6mm Colonial British ready to paint. Well, okay. Quite an extensive range there. Let's see. So this literally kind of goes together really dry. But I'm going to put some glue on it when I've actually put the thing together. really well designed. Let's say I love game organizers, and a game to me is never complete until you got it all organized. And my wife, she just doesn't understand it, and I just don't understand her. And she, whenever she owns a game, she never buys an organizer for it, and she knows it drives me mad. So we've got Mansions of Madness up there, which is hers. I bought it for her birthday, and she refuses to buy an organizer for it. Absolutely refuses, just because she knows I want her to. So Paul says, no painting this week, a little reading this week instead for next year's project. Well, what is next year's project, Paul? That's the question. More Barbarians on the table at the moment. Nice. I love gaming bling as well. Yeah, me too. Anything you can add to a game to make it nicer than the tokens or whatever it is you get in the box. It's always good. There's nothing wrong with that. Got a squad of Polish infantry, which are quite dark. First time we'd use Agrax, yeah. But it's just experimentation, isn't it? So it is, you just got to find how it works for you and mess about with it. Great Northern War, excellent. I think, is it Sonic Sledgehammer? He's come up with some combination of Agrax and a couple of other washes, I think, that works for him. He just basically uses those as a mix. So it feels like something not quite right here. Don't know why. I have got it on the right way around, haven't I? Just wondering if I have or not. It seems like there's a gap in this that there shouldn't be. The thing that should not be. See, that bit sits in perfectly fine. That back end bit. Well, maybe it's supposed to be like that. I don't really know. Perhaps I'm not. Well, that seems to be it. Like I say. There you go. A card holder. What else we got? Great Northern War. Love the Great Northern War. Big box of goodies should contain 3 boxes of Mongols, 1 box of Dark Age Warriors, few metal figures, and an MDF Viking ship. Right, again, quite a mix of things there. Finishing your Nassau Command figures. Excellent. Good stuff. Just got the Great Northern War Compendium. Excellent books. Okay. Nice Joe, indeed. Nice. And I've ordered a half dozen sets of Empress US Army Infantry, which should arrive soon. Well, you've really taken to it, haven't you, Nigel? There's no stopping you. Nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's good to see. Good to see people getting into it, really. That's what it's all about. So you will have, I would assume most of you will have seen the new logo, the new Storm of Steel logo. Right, well, that's pretty much that done. That's one part done. I was still a little wonder about the this back end, why it's kind of stuck out a bit. I wonder if the engraving is slightly off. Well, I'm going to put that to one side anyway, and I'll come back to that at some point. So I may paint it, I might not. So that will be very useful. The next thing that I want to do tonight, and local wargaming club should be open with June. Oh, that's good. That's what I'm looking forward to. You like the new logo? Thank you, Bjorn. I did too. My mate designed it for me. I kind of browbeat into it almost because I was asking him to look at the logos I'd designed, and he's a graphic designer, and he wasn't impressed. So he said, "Give me half an hour," and then he came back and he'd drawn that up for me. So I was all okay. I'll take that. So he let me have it. That was good of him because he does it professionally. I could probably not afford to pay him for it, the prices he charges. So I was very chuffed for a bit of a mate's rates of a freebie, and it works really well. I think it's just exactly what I was after. It's noticeable at a distance. It does what it says on the tin. And that last video that I put out yesterday, that seems to have gone a bit crazy. It's not gone viral, but it's had the most views of the last 28 days of the videos that I put out. And I don't know if it's something to do with the logo, if it's something to do with something else, or the video itself, or what it is. But there's another video coming tomorrow. O Group this time. So if anybody's interested in O Group, that's the next one. Tomorrow is going to be an O Group Kursk video, which I actually played weeks ago. Your club opens on the 23rd of May. Can't wait. Loving the logo. Top bloke here, mate. Yes, he is. Great video. Cheers, Andrew. Thank you very much. John Mycroft. Perry's Africa Corps arrived today. I'll enjoy painting some Warhammer Marines at the moment in British Paras colours, amongst other things. Your Wargaming glitterati highlights. I suppose so. There seem to be. I don't know where that's come from. Just make videos, I guess. And also over this last week as well, another thing I've been doing is I've been writing a script for a video about the British Army and the Napoleonic Wars. Because obviously at the moment I'm looking into a lot of Napoleonic stuff. Whole group, hurrah! It's coming, just wait. Because I've been looking into Napoleonic stuff with sharp practice and things, I just thought, because I'm learning about it, I'm going to make a video about it as well. So that will be out. Well, I've written the script. Like I said, this week I wrote the script, and then I'm going to have to record it and put the video together. So don't expect any time soon, but it will be coming. There is one on the French army as well coming out soon enough. I've just got to clear the backlog of videos that I've got at the moment, which currently after tomorrow's will be 10. So for the next 5 weeks or so, I've got videos ready. I should really get back to actually making some game videos as well. I didn't do it this weekend, and I'm not going to do it this weekend because I'm going to be playing a board game session with some mates, and then I've got a thingy. What's the Kriegspiel on Sunday? That's the one. We'll be getting NAP videos like your World War II ones. Yes, as I say, I've already made and literally uploaded the Napoleonic one about the Napoleon's Grand Army. It's about a half-hour video, just an introduction to the army itself and what they did and the different types of units in there and things. And so, as much for anything else, it was for me to learn about things as I'm researching. So it's very useful in that way. I might do some more on some of the major armies of the Napoleonic Wars as well. The next, as I say at the moment, the next one is the British Army. So maybe the Prussians next, and have some of those as well. I have an order for my birthday at an O Group and Cook's rule set for my children. Might get one if I'm lucky. Good stuff. Fingers crossed. Or maybe both if you're double lucky. And speaking of Lardy rules, I've just hit 4,400 subscribers. So I was wondering what to do for Austrians. Yes, they will come, Andrew, I'm sure. Work my way through them, the Austrians and the Russians. And I've been thinking about what to do as a celebration for hitting 5,000, because 5,000 subscribers, because I don't think it'll be far off. Next couple of months, I would have thought, at the rate that I'm gaining subscribers anyway. I would say probably because you can see obviously how many you're getting on. So unless something terrible happens, I'm currently getting about 300 a month. So I'm 4,400. I'm 600 off of 5,000. So I just need 2 more months. I reckon I'll be there on 5,000. And I thought, well, I should give away some figures or something. But then I thought, no, that's a little bit too restrictive. And I thought of a better idea was to give away a set of Lardy rules. with tokens and stuff as a competition, because that way I can then whoever it is who wins it can just choose which rules they actually want, rather than me sending somebody like a set of 15 mil World War II Germans that they're never going to use. It's a bit more of an incentive to join into the competition. And when I say competition, I just mean you just have to share the videos and the channel and stuff on any social media, that kind of thing. Something very simple. I'll just pull a name out of the hat as to everybody who's done it, and then we'll go, and then they'll get a free set of Lardy rules. I thought that was because I use them a lot, and it's always good to support smaller companies, I figured. But I'm going to give it a bit more thought. I just thought that was a reasonable idea. So yeah, at the moment, so I just wanted to finish these Frenchies off so I can start on something else, really, because I've been sat on the bench a bit too long. I mean, I could just sit down and finish them. They don't want to take that long, to be perfectly honest. There's not a great deal of work on the French. Basically blue, white, and black, and not much else. So I should really be speeding through them, but for some reason I've been a bit lackluster about it. So that's why these things work. Well, when I had the live stream with Travis on, it was a bit difficult to paint, actually, because I had a lot of questions for him about stuff, and I wanted to discuss things about YouTube and things, and just to just to get an idea of how he does as much as anything else. So I was concentrating more on that than painting, really. So I just didn't get a thing done, even though I got everything set up. Nigel says, I've been listening to God's Own Scale and also Wargame Soldiers and Strategy podcast. Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They are good. Check out Across the Pond Wargamers. They're good as well. Also, check out the Two Fat Lardies. They have a good podcast. I'm trying to think of who else I follow. Let me just get me. I'll tell you some other good podcasts, or at least ones that I follow anyway. Wargaming ones, that is. Let's just fire up. I'll tell you I'm subscribed to. So I've got them on my phone. That's the way I do it. So we've got Across the Pond Wargamers, God's Own Scale, of course. Little Wars FM, but I think that might be a patron only thing. I have got the South Wales Warlords, Sound of Battle Tabletop Media. They're okay. The Miller's Tale is quite an old one. I don't think it's a bit dead now. Two Fat Lardies, obviously, Veteran Wargamer, the WSS Wargames Soldiers and Strategy, and also Yorkshire Gamers Reap Big podcast. So they're perfect. Just all of those, they're great for listening to while you're painting. Little Wars TV, yeah. Little Wars FM, it's called. Their podcast is. Yes, Firepower Gaming, of course. How can I forget? Yeah. But his is mostly on YouTube, isn't it? I was on Andrew's Firepower Gaming. But yeah, he's another one worthwhile checking out. Another good channel. So there's loads out there. They're all worth checking out as much as possible. Give them some love. Oh yeah, the Mad Axeman. Yes, yeah. Mad Axeman is good as well. I didn't realize how many podcasts he's put out, and there's tons, absolutely tons of them. So I've been trying to work my way through some of those. Travis, you say I need to start listening to God's Own Scale as one star 6mm ACW. Well, he's the perfect man to go for, and it is a good podcast. There's some very interesting stuff on there, including me. I'm on it on a couple of times, but just some good stuff about 6mm gaming in general. And because Sean is a ACW man himself, that comes up quite a lot. So yeah, definitely check him out, Travis. He's worth it. So I'm just concentrating as I'm painting these boots. Just trying to get as many of these block colours in really at this point on these French, just so then they're done, so I can finish them off probably this weekend when I find a bit of time. I just want to get them, literally want to get them out of the way. Did you mention Yorkshire Wargamers? Yes, I did. You never know, Ken might pop up somewhere in the chat. He sometimes does appear on these. Armchair Generals podcast. I've not listened to that one, Rob. And hello and welcome to the stream. I am aware of the Armchair Dragoons. Is that the same group? That's Jim. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. Ozowski, I'm guessing. They do the online gaming through Tabletop Simulator. I don't know if that's the same one. But I've not heard of the Armchair Generals in particular. Sean's ACW painting guide on YouTube is very useful as well. Yeah. Another good thing to check out. It's interesting that the American Civil War seems to be coming back into fashion again. I don't know why that is. I mean, well, wargaming goes in and out of fashion, doesn't it? I mean, at the moment, as we were saying the other day, everything's coming up Landschnecks, but also everything is coming up Wild West as well. And I think at ACW, I wonder if it's something to do with Warlord's release of their Epic game. It's kind of got everybody looking at it again. So it used to be a real staple in wargaming. You know, even 20 or 15 years ago, it's like everybody. I remember going to shows and practically every other table was an American Civil War table. It was very popular back then. It just seemed to have dropped off, but then it seems to come back into fashion again. But that's wargamers for you, isn't it? We're very fickle at the end of the day. It's like, oh, there's something new. Well, I say that, I'm not. I like what I like, and that's what I stick to. But I notice a lot of other people do kind of follow things around a bit, which is no problem at all, you know, if that's what you like doing. It's your hobby at the end of the day. You got to do it. If you don't enjoy it, then don't do it. That's what I say. Ebb and flow of wargaming, absolutely. You'd be grateful recommendations. Second World War U.S. Army painting guide. The only thing I can think of is Osprey books. I have got some 15mm Second World War Americans, which I will paint at some point, and will most likely make a painting video out of them. But that's not likely to happen for the next good while, I wouldn't have thought, because I've got so many other things to do before I even look at those, and I've got lots of American Second War Americans anyway. So I just got them just to need them, to have them, not to need them. So they're on the bottom of the to-do list, but I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Nigel, if there's anybody else that can think of any Second World War, I suppose Sonic Sledgehammer will most likely have, I think, relatively recent, probably last year sometime. I'm sure he did some American. I think he might have done the Buffalo Soldiers in 28mm. So check his back catalogue of videos. And he most likely has at least one video on American soldiers, if not more. And there'll be 28mm as well. Good painting guides on the Artisan Design website. I didn't know about that. I'll check that out. Cheers for the heads up. It was Little Wars TV Altar of Freedom that got me to paint 6mm ACW armies last year, plus Sean and his prodding. Lots of prodding. Yeah, I saw that Little Wars have got that's it's their own set of rules, isn't it? Written by Greg, I think. Again, I mean, I've looked at it, but because it's not something I'm not particularly interested in, I'm not taking it any further than that. But I don't know how they play or what they're like. I'm sure they're good. So I'm not particularly interested in the American Civil War. I'd certainly, if somebody offered me a game of it, I certainly wouldn't turn my nose up at it. It's just something. I guess it's one of those things. It's another rabbit hole, isn't it, to go into? And I find with Wargaming, I want to play the games that pique my interest. And I guess if the American, if I read a book on the American Civil War and suddenly thought, oh, Gettysburg sounds like an interesting battle to refight, I might be more into it. Artisan designs and some, but they had quite old paint references. Yeah. Okay. Well, they might have Battlefront also. Yeah, of course, Battlefront do have some. Battlefront ones are 15 mil though, aren't they? I think Nigel's probably after 28 mil ones, which I know there's not a great deal of difference, but if you don't know anything, it's better to get the larger scale ones, I guess. But yeah, lost my train of thought. Thinking about this guy's shoes. Try the 10 mil warmongering page. Oh, they're painting guys as well. Okay, another one. You want to try Ultra Freedom and Big Battles. And Travis also says just having a hard time figuring out what I need from Bacchus. Is Bacchus the best 6 mil minis? I would say they are. I don't know for the ACW stuff, but certainly I think that well, yes and no. Adler miniatures also 6 mil are fantastic. They are by far the best in sculpt, just because they're so detailed. They're incredible. But I don't know if they do American Civil War. I know they do. They certainly do Napoleonics, but my Napoleonics are all Bacchus, and I think they're fantastic. I think they're really, really good. I have no issues with them whatsoever. It's good service. It's a local company, local to me anyway, so I'm happy to support it. But there is a new company that's just come out, which Sean was talking to on his last podcast, and that was Grumbler Miniatures, and they're doing 6 mil stuff as well, and theirs looks quite nice. Though not as I'd say probably not as nice as Bacchus, but they're still a new company, so they might be worth checking out. They have some different, interesting poses as well, which Bacchus don't do. Bacchus just do like the one pose, whereas they have, I think, about 4 different ones, or maybe Bacchus do 2 different poses of skirmishes and stuff. But Bacchus are just very good. Got a couple of scenarios ready to play at club with some mates. That's good then. And then another, yes. Well, you can always go back to it. It doesn't really matter, does it? It'll the clubs will be open again, and the scenarios want to change, so you can jump straight back onto them. No issue whatsoever, I wouldn't think. I'm just gonna paint these. I'm going to show you some of my Bacchus stuff. Sean and I thinking about scenarios for War Hugo and the Battle of Lewes 15. Yes, that's a part of the First World War that is never really explored. I've found loads of people do 1914 because there's this thing in wargaming where as soon as they get trenches, then you can't wargame it. Apparently, I try to do a lot. Well, I do a lot of stuff in 1916 and 17 and 18, but I've never done anything 1915, which would be nice. Your ACW Adler miniatures and their ace, yeah, they're beautiful. But the problem with Adler is that the way that they line them up on the bases, so Bacchus have them 4 facing forward like that. So basically, all you need to do is cut it off and stick it onto a base, whereas Adler have them on their bases like that. So you've got to cut each individual one off and then stick them on. That's something I don't particularly like about Adler. But if you can get past that, but when you're painting, I don't know, 6,000 figures for an army, it can get a bit much. Anything that cuts down the work, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to grab some of my 6 mil Napoleonics. I'll show you those. You can see what the Bacchus ones are like, or at least what my Bacchus ones are like. Whether that's meaningful or not is a different matter. Just grab them from here. Should really get back to playing blue sugar at some point. I've played it for a while. There's some. And that's my cannons as well, so I can bring these across for you. So these are based for brigades. These are for Blucher. So that's the this is Pago's brigade of the 4th Division. I don't know if you can see them, if I'm getting a. And we've also got some artillery there as well from Bacchus. Like I said, these are all Bacchus. We've got literally thousands of them. But that's the base for Blucher. I don't know if they're fit for Altar of Freedom or anything else. Well, how they're based. Nigel says 1915 nasty trench warfare on the Western Front. Gas as a weapon could be an interesting scenario depending on how the wind blows. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like us it's it is loose, isn't it? 1915, where the wind blew back in September on the British, where the first time they tried out the chlorine gas, wasn't it? When I was doing my MA, I wrote my dissertation on the gas attacks of 1915, or covered them a little bit anyway. I was looking at how many casualties were caused as part of the fighting in 1915. And as soon as they get gas masks, the casualties just drop almost instantly. Right, where we're at? There we are, tan yellow. Yeah, goodbye to all that. Yeah, the dissertation was basically, I was looking at modern literature and how they used gas, or how they wrote about gas as a terror weapon in the First World War. And I was kind of pointing out, the misunderstanding of it. For the thing, Travis says, what are you using for the bases? These are from Sally Forth, Travis. These are they're MDF bases. They're Blucher specific. So they've got the middle point of the unit and then the fire arc on them. These are Blucher specific, but they're just 2mm MDF bases. As I say, from Sally Forth. British had excellent anti-gas measures. During the First World War. Yeah, they were. I think the SBR was probably better than the German respirator because he didn't have that big thing hanging off the front of it. The fact that you held it on your chest. Have you read Seeking Victory on the Western Front by Alfred Palazzo? I think it is. That's a good book about chemical warfare and the development of it. But yeah, in my dissertation, I was looking at the how modern writers wrote about gas compared to how soldiers perceived it in their letters and their diaries, and the two are very, very, very different, as you would expect. A lot of modern writers, basically took either Wilfred Owen's poetry as a historical source, or Goodbye to All That. Alfred Palazzo, I think it's called, but it's called Seeking Victory on the Western Front. Really good. It's a good revisionist modern history of the gas. And yes, because you could see themes in people's books literally where they'd literally lifted. I think it's in Birdsong in I can't remember who was it by. They were talking about. They were saying that there's a point in it where the protagonist breathes in or smells some gas from a radiator while he's on leave at home, and it sends him into, bloody poets I know, sends him into fits of vapors because it reminds him of the gas on the Western Front. And that is directly lifted from Robert Graves, who talks about smelling mown grass when he's on leave at home, and that sends him into a fit of vapors. But that's the thing is, some of the gases did smell like bone gas, but they didn't smell like a domestic gas. It was a completely different smell. So it's complete misunderstanding of what gas smells like on the battlefield, chlorine and phosgene, compared to what a domestic gas in a radiator smells like. Oh, that was quite funny. And then there was stuff in Private Peaceful by Michael Merpergo, a kid's book. In that, he basically lifts literally everything. Sebastian Falk's Cheers, it was on the tip of my tongue. Don't get me started about lions left by donkeys. No, me neither. Your granddad was left with lung problems caused by the gas attacks. What job did he have, Rob? There's a question for you. What kind of industry did he work in? Because once men got their gas masks on, they were pretty impervious. One interesting thing I read in a diary was from an artilleryman, and he was saying that his bunk that he was in with this young soldier, had been hit by a gas shell, and he was incredibly badly. The young kid was very badly affected by it, but the guy writing the diary, said he wasn't so badly affected. He felt because he'd been under gas attack so often that he just got used to it. And he was talking about, because it was used as gas was used in an embuggeration, really, to stop artillery doing its job. So you basically gas an artillery position, because they then it makes it harder for them to work when they're in gas masks, because you can't see and you can't hear, you can't breathe properly, you can't communicate with one another. So that's why they use gas, really, not so much as a weapon to attack troops. And basically, this guy in this diary was saying that they were firing and working so hard, even though they were under gas attack, they all pulled their gas masks off and just carried on working the guns, because it was a lot easier than breathing through the gas masks. So whether he ended up with breathing problems or not, I don't know. But same with your granddad, Rob Jones. He was in Royal Artillery, yeah, so he would have been gassed. He'd have been dosed in it. Back of 6mm, very nice, depending on your rules. Ultra Freedoms use 30 by 60 bases. A plastic sheet for mounting them on. Okay, I think a lot of 6mm do 30 by 60. Yeah, I think that's from my understanding of what Sean said about it. I think that seems to be a pretty standard 6mm basing. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, gas, because it was the whole dissertation was basically about the perceptions of chemical warfare in the First World War compared to actual lived experiences of it. As I spent many a happy hour in the Brotherton Library in Leeds reading the letters and diaries of soldiers. It was with the field artillery, yeah. Well, again, they would be the ones that were getting the gas, because by 17 and 18, it was pretty obvious that if you gassed an area, it was very difficult to attack into it. So they used to use gas as to block off areas. So you would fire it just behind the lines to stop any infantry, any reserves getting in, or the enemy getting out. You basically box off an area like bite and hold, and that's how it's used in 1718. Brotherton's Library, yeah, it's excellent, fantastic stuff. Unreturning Army is an excellent perspective from an RFA officer. That'll be interesting to have a look. I'll have a look for that one. Yeah, Brotherton's fantastic. Really, really good collection. The Lidl collection is incredible. So much stuff in there. The first day I went and I opened up a box, I just got it out because it had gas in the what's it called, the index. So I was just going through as many boxes that had mentioned gas or had the keyword gas, and I opened this box up, and the first thing that came out of it was a biscuit, and it had written on it, "My first biscuit I was given in France, 1914." Brilliant. Fantastic stuff. You're going to try and play a Blucher in 2mm? That'll be good. Be a lot easier to paint him than his 6mm. I'll tell you that. But it'll look good. It's perfect for 2mm. I'd say that I use 2mm scenery for my Blucher stuff because it's about the right size. What else? Yeah, the other thing that I found in the diaries as well. I wish I'd followed up on it actually. It's a bit of a project that's still waiting to happen. I was looking at some of the diaries from 1915, and I'd completely forgotten that it was the 100 years anniversary of Waterloo in 1915. And obviously on the 18th of June, Coldstream Guards were celebrating it, as they do every year. But it was 100 years worth of it. And there was one diary entry where the guys had said, basically the guy who was writing the diary, he said they mocked up a scarecrow of the Kaiser and put it on the fire step. So the Germans just shot at it all day. I wondered how they would celebrate 100 years of it when France was their principal ally in 1915, yet Germany, Prussia, was their principal enemy in 1915, and the complete opposite in 1815, 100 years previously. I wish I'd looked into more of the diaries with that, really. It'd be nice for some of the figure design spruce World War I British in P14. Yeah, it would. A lot of the stuff is the early war stuff, isn't it? What's the pattern pre 14 pattern? I can't remember. 10 is it? I can't remember, but yeah, it'd be nice if an 08 pattern. What am I about? Yeah, it'd be nice to have some of that stuff around. But again, a lot of people, when it comes to wargaming of the First World War, a lot of people kind of stop after 1914 because they seem to think that you can't do it. And it's the same. It goes back in history. This, I mean, people like even like Donald Featherstone and stuff was saying it in some of his books. I think, like an introduction to wargaming, he basically devoted about a 40-page chapter to the Second World War, but a 5-page chapter to the First World War. Second Leicester's had a holiday each year to celebrate the capture of Baghdad in 17. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's a part of the war I don't really know a great deal about, is the Middle East stuff. I know it was happening, but I don't know much more about it. One of the sideshows, I suppose. Right, he's a Tyrellier, so I've got to paint him in yellow rather than green. Got to remember that. The weather's turned bad today, so I can hear it pitter pattering on the rooftop up there above me. Just hoping the roof isn't leaking. I don't think it is. It's fascinating. Yes, I'm fairly certain it is, Nigel. So I just don't know anything about it. It's like everything, really, though, isn't it? In the First World War, you could spend your entire life just looking at one particular part of it and never cover it all. I'm getting there with these finally. So I don't know if I'll get them finished tonight, but I'm going to make a good stab of them. Well, I definitely won't get them finished, but I might get a block painting done. At least if I can get them agraxed. Still true of 15, yeah, absolutely. So spend your life just looking at one small part of the war. There we go. Almost there. I was just watching Breaking Bad before I started this. I watched it before, but I've not watched it for a long time. I thought I'm going to work my way back through that again. It's a very good show. It still stands up after all this time. and I remembered how good it was just from watching that first episode. I might try and get another episode in after I've done this. After I've done this stream, but we'll see. It might be time for bed, you never know. Let's get some yellow on this fella. Sorry, just a bit quiet just while I'm concentrating on trying not to get paint everywhere, left, right, and centre. Just started a 1718 project using the Prestige Soldier Company 15mm figures. Grey War board game. Yeah, I've got a load of those as well. Using it for square bashing as well as Chain of Command. Good stuff. Both great games. Square bashing's excellent. Had many a good time with square bashing. Did you ever play the first edition of it, Terry, or is it just the second edition? Because they're quite a different game. You took the grandson of an 8th Lincoln's officer on tour to Toulouse, Ouagadougou. Still had a crocodile from his GGF service in Africa, which he kept in his shed. Wow, amazing. You're lucky enough to find a diary entry from an officer who was in command of my great uncle's unit, who was killed in the Marne in 14. A bloody interesting read. I would say so, yeah. I can well imagine. Right, where's my beige brown gone? There we are, beige brown. My favourite colour for wood. Let's get a little bit of water on this. There we go. Good here. I've put a bit too much water on that. Never mind. There we go. You say you haven't played it yet. We have the second edition set. Yeah, you need to pay the figures first. We play square bashing regularly at the club, first and second edition. Yeah, they're quite different, aren't they? First edition is all done on 12-inch squares. Second edition on 6-inch squares. I've got to say, I far prefer the second edition. There's just a lot more. What I really like about it is the pre-game part, where you decide who's attacking and who's defending, and you work your way through it. It's quite a nice. It's a little game in a game. I like that idea. It's a bit like the patrol phase in Chain of Command. It just works. Just has a little extra little layer and a bit of interest to the actual fighting and gaming. You'd like to see more of my videos on the subject one day? Hey, I'm only one man, Terry. When I can do this full time, I'll be pumping them out left, right, and centre. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to as well. I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about square bashing. Just going back to it. It's a nice, easy game. Easy to set up. Easy to run. It looks good. It's good fun as well. So yeah, I mean, don't rule it out just yet. But somebody else was asking me about I Ain't Been Shot Mum as well the other day, and they were also asking me about Stalingrad games as well. It's like, if I had the time to do them all, I would. Unfortunately, I don't always have the time to do them all. But yeah, you know, when they start paying the big bucks and I'm able to retire, then you never know. Might be a game a day. I doubt it. Too much editing. That's up 2 weeks' time. Unless I could farm it out to somebody. But no. Do it like what they call, I think it's miniature war games, I think they're called, one of the big channels. They do a lot of 40k stuff. They have a full team of everybody, basically, editors and everything. Stalingrad's another topic of interest. Yeah, me too, Nigel. Again, I was kind of thinking of doing a video on Stalingrad and the history of Stalingrad, the fights as well. It's one of the battles that's really, really interesting in the Second World War. Major, major battle. You know, you compare it to some of the stuff that was happening on the Western fronts. It absolutely pales in comparison to things like Stalingrad. A few more bits and pieces on these. Oh, what time are we on? An hour. You returned last July, but still haven't found much time for gaming even during lockdown. That's what they say, isn't it? As soon as you retire, you're twice as busy as you were before. You find all those little things that you were supposed to do when you were working. Yeah, and I mean, I'd love to do a wargaming YouTube full time, but if Little Wars can't afford to do it, then I don't think I can afford to do it at this point. You start your Soviet platoon for chain of command. Good stuff. Stalingrad turning point in the Second World War. Possibly. I think. Yeah, I think maybe Kursk was definitely the nail in the coffin. Really, Stalingrad was the first major setback of the German army. By that point, they'd pretty much lost the operational impetus, and then Kursk just kind of proved that really that they were as spent as a force, a fighting force at that point. So yeah, I mean it was definitely the beginning of the end, if not the end. Stalingrad interests me as well. Love your history videos, Alex. Cheers. That's how I found your channel. Oh, good stuff. Interested to know who came through. I was looking through my history videos earlier on, just looking at the numbers. One of them, I think it's had something like 70,000 views on it. It's kind of crazy, really, for a short video about the 88mm gun. It's very strange, the military history videos that I put out, because some of the ones I thought were going to do really well, there's hardly any views. And then some of the ones I just put together and threw out, I've got tons of views. It's really strange. Just can't. You can't. I can't fathom it. I was thinking maybe I don't know, doing something like on a Tiger tank. I mean, I'm fairly sure that would get hundreds of thousands of views. I recall reading a Russian officer saying that without vodka, the war would have been finished much earlier. Yes, possibly. Very possibly. Yeah, the Russian front is such an interesting part of the Second World War that is largely overlooked by Western historians, at least. You know, here in the UK and in the US, we largely concentrate on stuff like D-Day. I mean, even places like Italy and stuff is overlooked for that very same reason. It's understandable, you know. Your friend's great uncle was captured at Stalingrad. Wow, that's pretty rough. I assume he ended up in a prison camp till the 50s. Only he must have been pretty lucky because only a handful of them came home, didn't they? Only a few thousand survived after they were captured. If indeed he did come back, that I don't know. He just said he was captured. But yes, grim fighting in that city. And then when you see all the photos of it from the air, where it was just absolutely bombed to nothing. Mad. Almost unimaginable, really. Well, it is unimaginable. I wouldn't like to have fought in it. But then that's not saying much. I wouldn't like to have fought anywhere, to be perfectly honest. Saying the Russian powers, yeah, a very small number. It's because neither were signatories of the Geneva Convention. Well, Russia, sorry, wasn't a signatory of the Geneva Convention, which kind of gave the Germans free rein to do what they wanted with the Russian prisoners. And because the Russians hadn't signed it, they did the same thing with the Germans. Very bitter A very bitter part of the war. In what was an already bitter war anyway. Right, let's just have a... I've got a great deal left to do on these. Just bits and pieces of kit, I think, at this point. Civilian stayed in Stalingrad during the fight. Yeah, absolutely. In the cellars and stuff. A lot of them were evacuated, but then some of them just refused to leave. So they ended up staying behind in the bunkers and the cellars underground. That must have been grim. I mean, things like places like Leningrad as well, that was the same. The civilians stayed there as well, and that was under siege for, I think, about getting on for 3 years, I think. 1,000 days, wasn't it, or something? The siege of Leningrad. Imagine that for 3 years, just continually under aerial and artillery attack. Couldn't bear thinking about. Right. I need to do a little bit of research on what the epaulets of some of these chaps are before I can do much more. But I'm going to do the red on them, I think, now. Yeah, 3 years. I thought it was. Leningrad is something I've not read a great deal about. I should change that, really. I saw that Jonathan Dimbleby had written a book about Barbarossa. I wonder if that was any good. I don't know what he's like as a historian. I don't know if it's populist history or if he's a good historian. I'm not entirely sure. Not that populist historians can't be good. I just sometimes they repeat the same old myths. That's the problem, isn't it? But I don't know what he's like. So I was kind of thinking about maybe getting it. You bought a book on the Leningrad siege and the Spanish Blue Division that fought there. Yeah, that's another unit that doesn't get a lot of attention, isn't it? The Spanish fighting in Russia for the Germans. I mean, there's pretty much everybody fighting on the Eastern Front, really. Right, just doing these collars and cuffs and stuff, getting this out of the way. And once I've done these, I think I'm going to call it tonight because that's coming up on an hour and 10 minutes. I think that's enough painting for tonight. Unless I'm out, nip off and go and watch another episode of Breaking Bad just to get myself back into it once I've done these bits. And I'll finish these off tomorrow, I think, with all the little bits and pieces. And like I said, I need to have a look at what they're actually wearing and what uniforms they've got as well. So I'm here for a bit, but not for much longer. I think about an hour is enough. I can feel my eyes getting tired staring at these tiny figures, and that's never good. Nearly there. When Blue Division were really some badasses, yeah. Anthony Beevor's gun on the Eastern Front. Yeah, I've read both his Stalingrad and his Berlin books. And Richard Overy as well. He does. He wrote a good one, Russia's War. That was quite a good summing up of the things. I read Alan Clark's Barbarossa as well years and years ago, about 20 odd years ago. But now knowing what I know, what he wrote about lions and donkeys, I'm kind of look at a bit look at it a bit askance these days. Did I get my game of Gaslands over there? Yes, I did, Paul. And it was chaos. It was brilliant. We had 3 teams, each of 3 cars, except one had 2 cars and 2 bikes. That was me. And we started off, we tried the game out with 1 car each. And then we did the team race, and every single car apart from one was smashed to pieces by the end of it. Fantastic. It was a right laugh. And it was down to me and my mate, and I was Dean. In fact, I think you've met Dean at various shows that I've seen you at, and his all his team had been wiped out apart from one, and I'd got one left, and I was bombing it down towards the finish line. I was literally like 2 moves off finishing and winning the game, and he just rammed me in the side and caused enough damage on it to destroy my car. So he's survived and he won. The crowd went wild. It was great. The Russians made several miniseries. Really, we watch them on Pride Video. I've not seen those. And there's been recently a load of Russian films, hasn't there, about the Second World War? I mean, of varying levels of of cheesiness. Some of them I've seen, and they use a lot of CGI and stuff. I think there was one about Stalingrad. There was one about a T-34 tank that was like a super tank or something. I've not seen the docs or anything. There was a good German series called Generation War. Unfortunately, it went off Netflix before I got to see the last part of it, but that was quite good. Some of the fighting in that was interesting. A lot of that was on the Eastern Front. It was just following 3 friends, 3 school friends, as the lads basically grew up and joined the army, and the girls, one of them was dating an officer and the other one was working as a nurse on the Eastern Front. That was quite good and interesting because it was German as well. Generation War was very good. Yeah, Generation War. Anyone played Maximilian 34 Rules? No, don't know those. What are they for, Rob? You can get it on DVD. Is that Generation War? Yeah, but I pay for Netflix already. I want it on Netflix again. It'll come back, I'm sure. But yeah, what I saw of it, I really enjoyed. I just knew I should have watched the last episode. But I found something else, and then next thing you know, it's gone. That's the problem with Netflix. 1 minute it's there, and then the next thing, it's gone. I don't know what it is about these the red collars and cuffs on the French, but as soon as you put them on, they just really bring the figures to life. I don't know why. Very much like Gaslands, were based in 34. Oh, okay. Using 1930s cars, I assume then. Anyone seen the 8th April Danish World War II film following a bicycle platoon during the German invasion? Really good. No, I haven't actually. Is that on Netflix, Paul? If it is, I'll check it out. Russian film, come and see. Brilliant, horrifying, equal measure. Yeah, definitely not a date film. That one. That is grim. I've seen it, and that's enough. All I needed to do is see it. 9th of April. Yes, I have. Okay, I'll check out the 9th of April. Oh, it's not ruining for you the ending. I have it on DVD. Okay, I'm assuming because it's a German production, everybody dies. Like Stalingrad film or Das Boots or anything else that's German and Second World War. I'll tell you what's funny is Look Who's Back. That's a German film. It's about a German film about Hitler coming back into modern day, and he becomes a YouTube star. It's based on a book, which is also very funny as well. It's a good one to check out if you fancy a laugh. It's not a typical type of film, but it made me laugh. Right, I'm certainly getting there with these chaps. But yeah, I'm going to say once I've got the red on these, I'm going to wrap up. Danger Close. I don't know that one. Her name rings a bell though. I watched the Siege of Jabotsville the other day, a couple of weeks ago. That was very good. That was a pretty much no nonsense war film. Really enjoyed it. It basically took a single battle and just concentrated on it, and that's it. I cannot watch Downfall as my daughter told me the ending. Spoilers, Hitler kills himself. Downfall is brilliant, actually. It's one of my favourite films, if not my favourite film. It's fantastic. I just think it's brilliant from beginning to end. Everything about it. That bit in the map room has slightly been ruined by the memes, but it's still fantastic. Well, we are. It's fascinating to make a film that is basically equal to 1/3 the length of the entire version of Burnt Down Mark. Right, Nigel, got to go. Great chat, gents. See you, Nigel. Thanks for jumping in. Always a pleasure, never a chore. A good movie, really unknown to me before I saw that. Come and See is reputed to have used live ammunition in the making. Maybe an urban myth. Well, maybe, yeah. I don't know where they would have used it in it. Danger Close is about the Anzac Battle of Longtown, Vietnam. Ah, yes, now it's starting to ring a bell. Yeah, I've certainly heard of it, Rob. I just haven't seen it. Maybe that'll change. You never know. We'll see if it's on Netflix. Yeah. Keep saying it. Nearly there. 3 more to do. Yeah, check out Siege of Jabbotsville if you haven't seen that. That's a good one. Irish unit of UN peacekeepers in where were they? Where are they? Nigeria, I think. Can't remember. New film as well, worth it. It's on Netflix. Okay, and I shall find it and stick it on my list. Maybe watch it this weekend. See how we go. As I say, chaps, there's no live stream on Sunday here, but she'll be back next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. But yeah, this Sunday it's out. So I think I'm probably going to be too knackered anyway after an afternoon of ordering units around a map that I can't see. Right. Yeah, very good. Yep, seen Jabberville, very good. I saw an ad for a sci-fi program. Nazis build a base on the backside of the moon. Yeah. The attack Earth in modern times. Yes, it's Iron Sky, isn't it? Been out for a while. It's a Finnish film. I think it was crowdfunded, or at least part 2 of it was crowdfunded. Yeah, it's ridiculous. A friend of mine's seen it, but I've never seen it. She says it's mad. I kind of got what I needed to see out of it from watching the trailer, though. To be perfectly honest. Right, these are getting there now. Danger Close is like watching a real life version of a game of Charlie Don't Surf. I'll try to watch you. Cool. Iron Sky, yeah, is the one, and DMZ is good for Chain of Command. I've not played it. Another rabbit hole I don't really want to go down is the Vietnam War. I am interested in it, especially after watching the Ken Burns documentary on it again recently, which was fantastic. Right. There we go. That's the last one. That's a red done, and I've gone cross-eyed, I think. Africa, I thought it was Congo. That's it. Yeah. And it is Congolese, isn't it? Nigeria. The Congolese Civil War. That's right. Okay. Stupid was my reaction. Fair enough. Right, that's me done for this evening. Thanks for joining me again, as always. A pleasure. It's got me painted a few more things there. I hope everybody else has got some good painting done as well. Good to chat you all. catch you all, shall I say. And thanks again. And I shall be back most likely next Thursday. But obviously, I'll put up the thing up here anyway. Fingers crossed it will be with Sean if I've got my diary right. And we'll be able to have a chat and talk about podcasts and stuff. If not, it'll be another time in the future. I can't remember when. So, cheers, everyone, and good night.